Hi guys. So do you remember this fall of 2014 when Paris was attacked by terrorists? I'm just reading a bunch of different laws anyway. So France invoked Article 42.7 of the Mutual Defense Solidarity Clauses in the European Union, basically. So what France officially said is that they are a member state, victim of armed aggression on its territory, and member states have an obligation to aid and assist, basically. France basically told the European Union, we're at war with ISIS or whatever. We need your help. And Sweden responded. Well, responded because Sweden basically sucks and have no defense forces or military. So what we ended up doing was sending a cargo plane to France or to assist in some way. But what that also means is Sweden is officially participating in a war according to the treaties signed by Sweden. I don't believe Sweden would ever, or the politicians would ever acknowledge this, but technically, and being technically right is the best form of being right. Technically Sweden is at war. Kinda, I guess. According to different treaties that no one really cares to read. Anyway, so I continued reading. And Sweden has, in the EU gun ban, Sweden has had a small kind of referendum. All the interested parties like the police and the statistical agency and all the shooting federations, the military, and everyone has gotten to say their piece. And I've said my piece and responded to the government's questions regarding this for the shooting club I'm chairman of, etc. So I was reading the different responses, and this is the Swedish police response. I'm going to translate this to English for you guys. Semi-auto firearms that resembles weapons with fully automatic mechanisms should be banned, according to the Swedish police. So, yeah. But they have some other qualifications for that, but basically the Swedish police agrees with the suggestion to ban semi-auto firearms just because the way they look. If they look naughty or black or made of plastic or whatever, ban them. They're really terrible and probably eat children. Anyway, and of course they want to ban, confiscate and destroy all of these weapons and all of the fully automatic weapons Swedes own as well. So they're saying this right here. So they have the police logo up in the corner, and at the bottom it's signed by all the guilty parties, the police. Anyway, so what we can do then is read the response from the Swedish military, and that's totally different. The Swedish military has a totally different approach to this. Because my shooting club is part of the Voluntary Defense Forces, I assume would be a proper translation to English. If someone knows a better translation of Frivillig Försvarsorganisation, please write in the comments. Anyway, well, Voluntary Defense Organization should be the straight translation. Anyway, the organizations the shooting club is part of assists with training the military for use with handguns and rifles and whatever, small arms basically. And in the shooting club there's a lot of military personnel and police and security guards and stuff like that. Basically those are the people that are interested in firearms basically, and a lot of them supplements their training they do not get for work with shooting sports basically. So the defense forces in Sweden is writing as a conclusion to their response to this, to the Justice Department in Sweden. The defense forces The defense forces are against the suggestion to changes for the EU Weapons Directive. The suggested changes would would mean how this it's written in very nice Swedish that is not used in ordinary talked Swedish. Anyway, what they're saying is it would be detrimental to the defense of the country and for the military ability to wage war, basically. And they write in plain text that it's necessary that Swedish gun law makes it possible for civilians to own fully automatic as well as semi-automatic firearms. They say it right here, and that's necessary for the defense of the country. That's what they're writing. So, the police is going against the military, and what the police suggests in their response is detrimental to the defense of the Swedish country. So the police is against the defense of Sweden and are actively working against the defense of this country. This is written plainly for everyone to see, and it's signed by all the responsible people at the police, and the person writing this military response is working for the high quarters. What's it? Anyway, he's working for military intelligence, and it's called MUST in Sweden. Anyway, so it's as official as it can get, these responses, and the Swedish police is actively hostile to the Swedish country, basically. If you're supposed to believe this. So, if Sweden is technically at war, and the Swedish police, or at least these people signing this document, is actively hostile to Sweden, then we shall check the government page on what is the punishment to if the Kingdom of Sweden is at war and someone is actively against Sweden, like spies and stuff. So let's see if I can find where this law is. It's the 22nd chapter of the crime about traitors to the country, etc. Yeah, I think it's the second post here. I'm reading this straight from the government homepage on laws. If a person, when the country is at war, betrays, destroys or damages property that is of need for the total defense of the country. I think that's most applicable, because this is the guns that they're trying to destroy that's needed for the defense of this country. So, what's the punishment? It's landsförräderi, and well, the term in Swedish is landsförräderi. It's basically betraying the country, and it's basically life imprisonment. We don't have the death penalty for this anymore, but we used to have the death penalty for this in Sweden. Anyway, I think they changed that in 1986. So that's if it's proper treason. If it's like all kind of treason, a bit lower, then 6 years imprisonment is the punishment for that. So technically, these police officers could be tried for treason for what they're doing. I just thought that would be kind of fun thought experiment to to consider. At the very least, it's dereliction of duty, and yeah, well, you kind of wonder what's the motive to ban civilian gun ownership in Sweden, because we have had a long tradition, hundreds of years of tradition of civilian gun ownership in Sweden. Well, basically since they invented the firearm. And just up until recently, about, I think it was 14 years ago, the Swedish Defense Forces got to keep fully automatic machine guns at home, same as in Switzerland. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember if it's the correct year, but it wasn't that long ago. But then everything was taken away, and they basically demolished the entire defense of the country, and one Spetsnaz soldier with one butter knife could take over Sweden at the moment. We don't have anything to defend ourselves with. So that makes this police response even worse, because they're actively hostile to the Swedish defense. And that's scary. Why is the police against Sweden? Well, I don't know. That's something for you to wonder about. Okay, thank you for listening to my little rant. Have a nice day.